Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be talking about overcoming challenges, and our guest is 19-year-old Lola Mormino, who has overcome some challenges in her young years. Welcome, Lola, and let's just jump into the challenges so it's very clear for the viewers what you've been overcoming.
Yeah, so I've struggled since the day I was born with my health. When I was born with a 2.5 pound cancerous tumor attached to my tailbone. So that was removed. I believe I was 3 days old when that and my tailbone got removed. During that surgery, I had an IV in my wrist, and that IV slipped out of my vein and went through my bloodstream. So it gave me three-degree burns all the way up my forearm. Um, After that, I struggled from ages 7 years old to 15 years old with vasovagal syncope, which just means that if I get scared, if I see blood, get overheated, shocked, stressed out, I would just pass out. And yeah, I passed out quite a bit. There was a period of time, I believe in 8th grade, when I passed out every night after dinner due to just too much stress. Um, and at age 10, I had hip surgery. The ball on top of my femur was slipping off, so I had to put a couple screws in to keep that up. I believe that took 6 months to recover. And age 11, I was paralyzed for 3 weeks. So after one of the times I passed out from vasovagal, when I woke up, I couldn't feel my legs for 3 weeks. And then just a bunch of more stuff in those years. And then the most recent one was in 2018. So I used to play ice hockey for 9 years. And in 2018, after one of my games, I just felt super fatigued and something just felt off. And after my game, my coach was like, "You look super gray. So do you want to go get your parents, or are you okay?" I was like, I am gonna go get my parents just because something feels wrong. And so I went up to them, and then my body just started shutting down on me. So they called the paramedics. I still had all my equipment on, so they had to take all that off just because it was difficult to try and get me to where I was supposed to be with a full uh, garb on. So yeah, that whole episode lasted probably like an hour of just me feeling like I was moving through quicksand and the room was spinning, and I just felt like I was just shutting down. Um, and yeah, so that first hospital visit in 2018 lasted about 10 days. They diagnosed me with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, which just means that when I stand up, the blood obviously pools to your legs. My heart didn't work fast enough to get back up to my head. So my heart was beating, like, one of the times it was beating 224 beats per minute to try and get back up. So I just felt like I was going to throw up. Like, it was just a lot of feelings in an instant. Um, so they put me on a high salt diet to try and cure that. I broke out in hives because they put me on like 500 milligrams of salt, which did not work well for me. Um, and at the same time, those episodes continued to happen, and they started ranging from 8 minutes to 20 minutes of just not knowing if I was going to make it. So after one of the episodes, my family and I went back to the hospital, and they called around different hospitals to transfer me to it so I could stay there for, some time until they figure it out. And no hospitals wanted to take me because they weren't sure how to fix it. So we went back to Long Beach, which is where we were at the beginning. And I was there again for about, I think it was 10 or 11 days. And the nurses thought I was dying. Like, everyone just thought that I wasn't going to make it out of what I was going through. And so they tested me for anything you can imagine. They tested for cancers again, anything with thyroid or seizures, literally anything you could think of. And they couldn't find anything. So they were like, "We have no idea how to fix this, so we're going to send you home and hope for the best." So my parents, actually my dad, had found more of a natural holistic doctor who did all supplements and vitamins and stuff like that. And he tested me, um, just checking all of just my whole body. And it turns out there were like 4 pages worth of issues that I was struggling with my whole life that no regular doctors seem to come across. So he gave me a whole bunch of supplements to take for, I think I took them for about 3 months, and then just one day it all went away. And
Wow.
yeah, I'm very into the natural way of going now, just because doctors never believed me when I said something was wrong. Like, for example, for my hip surgery, I was having really bad knee pains, and I believe this was in 2011 or 12. Um, but I was having like really bad knee pains, and like I said, no doctors believe me. They're like, nothing's wrong with your knee, you're fine, like there's no problem. And one doctor checked my hip just to see, and it was this. If this was the ball on top of my femur, it was this. And I was like, I told you something was wrong. And the only people that always believed me were my family or my close ones. um, and so yeah, he was, the natural doctor was almost certain that this would cure me, and I was like, we'll see. Like, doctors have told me this before, that I'll be fine and everything, and then I never was. But it turns out that I was, and this is the healthiest I've ever been. And it's just a very surreal feeling, because I've been so unaware of how sick I was every day. Just even getting out of bed was a struggle sometimes. Taking showers, like, it just was never how it feels now. So it's helped me learn to never take anything for granted, because I've almost lost everything multiple times. So yeah, it was definitely a journey, but I'm thankful because I look at life totally different now, and I am in a profession where I can continue learning about the body and mind and how it connects and how you can stay as healthy as possible, which is why I got into health and fitness, because I was like, well, if I was so sick this whole time, like, I want to learn about everything, so I might as well. So that's that.
Wow. What an extraordinary story. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
We've got just a few minutes left here, and I'd like to get into, what you consider maybe the most helpful things to not only yourself overcoming challenges, but that could be helpful to others.
I think the biggest thing that I've taken out of all of this is not keeping anything inside, because I feel that each time I did that and didn't um, say how I was truly feeling and just bottled things up, that's when I got the most sick. So I'd say, even if I know it's hard at the beginning, because it's been hard for me my whole life. It definitely gets easier to do the more you do it, and you feel so much better, even if you don't have a cure for whatever you're feeling in the moment. Just getting it off your chest is like a huge weight lifted off your shoulders, to begin with. So I'd say that the biggest thing is just talk and be vocal about how you truly feel, because that is just as important as anyone else's feelings. And yeah, your opinions and feelings matter too. So I think that would be the biggest thing I would have taken out of everything.
Great. Now, of course, in your specific circumstance, you have chosen to actually study the whole field, at least of health and nutrition. Do you think that that's something that, if people are having challenges, and it doesn't even matter what area it is, but in whatever area, do you recommend that they try to not only communicate about it to others, but to even learn as much about it as possible?
Yeah, I mean, if that's something that you're intrigued in, and if it's something that might make you feel happy, then I would say go for it. I mean, whatever makes you feel truly happy, I would never want it to be where someone pressures you into doing something, because it's not going to last. Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be a very short-lived journey for that. So I'd say, if that's something that you truly feel like you have interest in, I would say definitely do it.
Great. All right, Lola, we're out of time here, but if you've got a website that we could sneak in here for people to go to for more information, you're welcome to note that. And also, you have a very brief summating message for the viewers. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my website is my first and last name, lolamorminofitness.com. And then a message I would have is just to keep going. I know that a lot of people might doubt you along the way. You might end up doubting, just questioning yourself, like, is this, am I sure I want to do this? Like, but if there is something that you truly want to do, and if you have a goal that you want to achieve, just do it. Like, do whatever it takes to get there in a healthy way, and make sure you're having fun while doing it.
Well said. Thank you so much, Lola. We're going to wrap things up now.
All right.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.